opportunity for your listeners. Wayne Sabara, an opportunity for your listeners.
Thank you, Mr. Friedman. It's really an opportunity to be on your radio show here tonight. I have some news I think your listeners are going to really love to hear.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Sounds good. This is an opportunity that came to me some years ago, and I'd just like to share it with the community because I know when they hear it, they're going to want to jump on it. Should be a lot of fun. Do you think there's anybody in the community that could improve their communication skills or their leadership skills? Anyone who would like to ace that job interview, maybe make a better impression?
Well, let's see. Everyone?
There you go. That sounds pretty good to me, too. Well, there is such an organization, and they have meetings right here in our community. Ventura County, in fact, has a number of these organizations that are affiliated with a group known as Toastmasters International. Now, Toastmasters International was originated back in 1924. I'm sure you don't remember that, nor do I, but it's been around for 90 years. And during the 90 years, they have developed programs that allowed us to hone our skills for speaking and for leading. And the other thing about this organization, the underlying theme for everything we do is fun. We want to have fun, we want to enjoy ourselves while we're learning. You know, Scott, one of the things that really impressed me about Toastmasters is everyone in the organization is working on self-improvement. The programs are programmed but very deliberate, and they're paced by each individual. It's self-directed improvement. And for me, that really makes a big impact, because if I feel I'm really busy and over-challenged, I'll kind of let it go slowly. But then when I'm ready to really get going on it, I can put a lot of energy into it, so I pace myself. I have a friend that I worked with years ago. His name was Ambrose. He was a young engineer who came to us from Europe and had such a heavy accent, people had trouble understanding him. When he would try to say something in a meeting, people would say, "Oh, Ambrose, we can't understand you. You know, be quiet, sit down." And very shortly, his self-confidence was just destroyed. I had a little talk with him. I said, "I heard about this organization called Toastmasters, and I wonder if you ought to check it out." He did. He took 2 years of Toastmasters training, and one day he came in and he says, "I'm going to go back to graduate school." And he left and he went to graduate school. He got his master's and then he got his PhD. I lost track of Ambrose for a few years, but then I got an email from him not too long ago. He's a professor at George Washington University. He's authored 5 books, and he is on the national speaking circuit. Imagine this opportunity that this young man, who was about to get completely blown out of his engineering job because he couldn't communicate, suddenly he's on the world stage. And that's just one example. What I've noticed about Toastmasters is people come to the meetings and they have a lot of fun. One of the nice things about it, as you can tell from my tie, I'm sure the radio audience isn't able to see my necktie, but you can see from my tie, there's 122 countries in which we have organizations. 122 countries, that's over 292,000 members worldwide. So any place in the world that I go, as a Toastmaster, I can fit into a Toastmaster meeting, I can meet people with open arms, people that want to welcome me and get to know me. It's been fabulous, and I have enjoyed that in different cities. What I want to share with your listeners tonight is that they can get involved with this program to learn how to ace that job interview, to represent yourself better, and more fundamentally to have stronger self-confidence, really feel good about yourself, really have a lot of personal power. And the way you do that, talk to one of the Toastmasters. If you can't tell who they are, it'll be the person smiling. It'll be the person who has gone on the internet at toastmasters.org and has keyed in their zip code to find out a club near their home. So I invite all your listeners to do that. Go on toastmasters.org, type in your zip code and find some clubs near your home. Find one that meets at a time convenient to you and go visit. There's no charge. It's a lot of fun, and I invite all your listeners to do that.
Well, thank you. Now we're going to open it up for calls from our listeners.
Okay.
Are there any calls from any of our listeners out there? Yes.
How long have you been in, Mr. Severa?
My question is, how long have you been in Toastmasters?
I've only been in about 10 years, so the first 80 years went by me without notice. But the 10 years that I've been in have been truly wonderful. I've traveled the whole country. I've gone to Canada to a conference. I've learned a great deal about speaking and leadership, and I've enjoyed, more than anything, the friendships of the people that I have met through this organization. You know, most of the people in Toastmasters, it turns out over 76% of the people in Toastmasters have college educations. 95% of them have taken some college, and about a third of them make over $100,000 a year. Half of the members make over $75,000. And of all the members in Toastmasters, the unemployment rate's only about 2.5%. So you see, these skills do help people in the business world.
Thank you.
That's a great answer. Toastmasters is really impressive in its impact on people.
Yes.
We have another call.
Mr. Severa, when you traveled, have you visited Toastmaster clubs? And when you visited, if you have, is it in English or is it in the native language?
The question is when you've traveled, have you visited clubs on your travels, and are the meetings conducted in the native language or English?
Yes, I've visited a number of clubs in different places. I've traveled all the way to Texas. They speak English there. I've gone to the East Coast. I've gone to Canada. I've gone to Japan. Actually, the statistic is that 94% of the members speak English. It's the predominant language throughout the world. However, about 38% of our members are multilingual. And other leading languages include Spanish, Hindi, Chinese, Japanese. So we have well represented the entire world population.
I believe we have time for one or two more questions from the audience. Yes.
Is there a teacher in this Toastmaster
So
organization?
there's a question, is a teacher or a professional representative of Toastmasters?
Yes, indeed. In fact, every member is a teacher. We have a self-directed program. The teaching materials are available to every member, and the idea is that each member provides feedback and education to other members. So when we have a speech, we have an evaluation of the speech. We give feedback on things that went well, things that could be improved. And our evaluations always end with an uplifting motivational conclusion. So people will result in wanting to come back and give another speech. That's the key motivation. So to answer your question, yes, we're trained, each one of us, to be a teacher.
Well, we have hundreds of more lights lit up, but we're out of time. So everybody, please go to Toastmasters website and get your questions answered and link up with the club.
Thank you so much for your opportunity to be on the radio with us, Scott.